Hey folks, Roland Martin here, Roland Martin Unfiltered. Literally just a few moments ago, we got the tweet and the news from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation that, quote, Gregory and Travis McMichael have been arrested for the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. There will be a press conference tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. in Brunswick, Georgia, 1 Conservation Way. I'm going to read the news conference. I literally was about to leave the office when the tweet came in. And so normally we're from our set, but we're using an Ecamm Live to go live to you because we wanted to give you this information first. And so let me go ahead and read again from the press release that was sent out. And it says on May 7th, 2020, the GBI arrested Gregory McMichael, age 64, and Travis McMichael, age 34, for the death of Ahmaud Arbery. They were both charged with murder and aggravated assault. The McMichaels were taken into custody and will be booked into the Glenn County Jail. On February 23rd, 2020, Ahmaud Arbery was in the Satilla Shores neighborhood in Brunswick, Georgia, when both Gregory and Travis McMichael confronted Arbery with 2 firearms. During the encounter, Travis McMichael shot and killed Arbery. The case is being investigated in partnership with District Attorney Tom Darden. On May 5th, 2020, District Attorney Tom Darden formally requested the GBI investigate the death of Ahmaud Arbery. The Kingsland office initiated an investigation on May 6, 2020. On April 29th, 2020, Glenn County Police Department requested that the GBI investigate allegations of threats against GCPD and individuals involved in the active investigation. Morning May 5th, 2020, GCPD requested the GBI investigate the public release of video related to Arbery's death. These investigations are all active and ongoing. If anyone has information related to these cases, please contact the GBI at 1-800-597-8477. Now, Lee Merritt, who is the attorney for the family, for the mother of Ahmaud Arbery, he tweeted out that actually he's now since changed that tweet because he had included the third man who was involved in this, and that is William Roddy Bryan. But the statement from the GBI does not say anything about William Roddy Bryan. We will know with tomorrow's news conference. We do not know if they've issued any arrest warrants for him, and he simply has not been taken into custody. We don't know that at all. So that's the information that we have. This literally, folks, came down. Like I say, not long ago at all. And so let me pull that up. Like I say, I was about to walk out of the door after finishing 2 hours of Roland Martin Unfiltered. And then we got notice at 8:02 p.m. We went off the air at 8:04. So this tweet went out at 8:02. We got the notice that that these 2 men have been arrested for murder. It has been a tumultuous ride, if you will, for this family because they have been seeking justice since Ahmaud Arbery was shot and killed on February 23rd. The only reason we are even at this place, folks, the only reason we're here is because that video was released 2 days ago. Well, today's Thursday. That video was released Tuesday night. It really went public and viral on Wednesday, and then all of a sudden you see what happened. Now, here's some stuff that we have to understand. Keenan, let me know if Scott Bolden or Reese Colbert or Greg Carr, they are available to bring them in via Skype on this live stream. Folks, but here's something that you got to recognize. This took place in Glenn County, in Glenn County. All right, that's where it took place. The police department there, they made no arrest. The Glenn County Police Department made no arrest whatsoever. Now remember, the DA Tom Darden said yesterday that he saw enough evidence, he was going to take this case to a grand jury. Now you must ask yourself the question, how could you make an arrest without the grand jury? The arrest of these 2 men could have actually happened long before today. But the officials there in that town refused to do so. They refused to actually make an arrest in this case. Again, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, here they are. Today, hours after DA Tom Darton asked the GBI to step in to investigate, all of a sudden they arrest McMichael, Travis McMichael, and George McMichael. 24 hours later. What does that say about DA Darton? What does that say about the Glenn County Police Department? What does that say about George Barnhill, the previous DA who recused himself? What does it say about DA Janice Johnson, who recused herself? Folks, something clear stinks here. Now, some of y'all, look, I get it. Folks, understand. You're saying the sound is bad. Bottom line is look, we're on a different system. We're not on the same system as we normally do my show. So just want to let y'all know what's going on. Let me just try to see if I can even just change the audio here. I'll just turn this off and you actually have it. So sorry, folks. Again, this we're not prepared to at all. So now I'm talking just on the microphone that's right here on the computer, not these right here. And so, bottom line, we now see what is going on. These two men have been arrested. Hopefully, the audio is better with me taking the AirPods out. Again, the news conference is going to take place at 9 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. And so we're having some issues. We can't bring in our guest. And so sorry about that. This is the first time we've actually used this eCam system to be able to do a report. Literally, we shut the studio down, lights were turned off, everything was turned off. We wanted to quickly go live to give y'all this breaking news update. Folks are reacting all across social media. In fact, I'm going to do this here. I'm going to see if we can get Lee Merritt on the phone real quick. And I'll put him on speaker to see if we can just hear him. And so y'all just give me a second. We're calling him right now. Give me a second here. And remember, Lee Merritt represents the mother in this case. Ben Crump represents. Hey, Lee.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm actually doing. Actually went live when this thing came down. When did you notify Arbery's mother of this Georgia Bureau investigation? Did they give her a heads up that these two guys were being arrested? We're actually live streaming right now. I have you on audio.
Okay, no. This was a surprise to her. Although we've been working with GBI, and so we were expecting this, but it wasn't a certainty. They completed their interview of Miss Cooper today.
What does this say though, that 24 hours after the GBI gets involved, there's an arrest? Yet the Glenn County Police Department, even in the statement sent out by the GBI, they're still complaining about, we got threats, and also they want the GBI to investigate the video. The Glenn County Police Department could have arrested these guys. The DA could have done it. He pushed it off on the grand jury. So what changed for the GBI to say, oh yeah, arrest them?
It just shows that the South Georgia, at least law enforcement community, and particularly in Glenn County, is corrupt beyond repair. And I believe the looming trial will expose a lot of that corruption.
Well, it's certainly, I'm sure, for his family, they are thankful that this has come down this quickly, Lee. But I'll say it again: if it wasn't for this video being released, and again, I don't know what deal was cut, because Lee, the man who was driving behind, the third man, he's not been arrested to your knowledge, right? The Brian guy. So I wonder what was going on there, where this attorney releases this video. We haven't heard about Brian, but I'm sure those questions are going to be answered at tomorrow's news conference. And again, certainly, I'm sure his family is relieved that this has happened thus far, but this is not the end of this process.
No, sir. And the family, particularly Ms. Cooper, she received the news, and she remained as stoic as she always is. But she's emotionally drained, and she knows that this is just the start of a big battle. So we're just encouraging everyone to take this win, but prepare for the next step.
All right, then. Lee Merritt, I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right. All right, folks. I'm going to call Ben Crump right now. Ben Crump, of course, is the attorney for the father of Ahmaud Arbery. And so, again, folks, I just decided to go live right from my office. Did not want to wait till tomorrow's show to go ahead and certainly talk about this. And so if y'all are just joining us, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, they have announced that the two men who killed Ahmaud Arbery, Gregory McMichael, age 64, his son Travis McMichael, they have been arrested by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. According to the press release from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, they have been both charged with murder and aggravated assault. They have been taken into custody and are booked into the Glenn County Jail. Comment.
So I was just saying that was one of the reasons that I asked Mrs. Cooper Jones the unfortunate question around had she received any support from her local elected officials. In talking about city county commissioners, you're talking about usually sheriffs are elected officials. So when she said back to us on your show that she had only began to receive support from local officials, people that are called to serve Ms. Cooper Jones as a constituent, her family as well, last week, that is BS. That is complete BS. And so this is a result of not only your programming, Roland, but it is, as Dr. Carr said, this is a result of Black people, again, already disproportionately impacted by a global pandemic, specifically in the United States, with all the other disparities and pressures and things that we have to manage, then also having to, through trauma, also have to say, and listen, damn it, you will give one of our people, this mother, this family, damn justice. And I'm right with you when you're talking about the impanelment of the Black of the grand jury. We have got to, family, y'all, we have got to stay apprised of what's happening.
But here, Greg, people need to remember. I know people. This is a part of the process. You've been arrested. This may still take it to the grand jury. The grand jury may choose not to indict. Okay, if they do indict, it still has to go to a trial. It does not mean that they are guilty. You still have a federal position here. Remember, Michael Scott had been shot and killed in North Charleston. It was a hung jury. That officer went to jail on civil rights violations, not on murder.
That's right. Roland, this isn't checkers. What you're saying, this is going to be a chess game. And I think the Republicans are gearing up for a game of chess. I don't want to make this a Democrat-Republican thing. I see it as a national thing. Just the party national. But echo what you said, and echo what Erica has said. The grand jury. This is really the issue. Again, back to your talking to Lee Merritt. Not only tonight, Thursday night, but earlier in the week when you were talking to him. The idea that this video might actually there will be jurors in South Georgia who would see that as something that could exonerate him. He might group bill. He might get them in. And also, in fact, before you even get to that, they've been arrested and charged with murder and aggravated assault. The question is, are they going to have bail? I mean, because we all know how this works. Even if they set an astronomically high number for bail, we know we've seen in the past with these white supremacists, particularly the cops, they then put a GoFundMe together, and with the space of 24 hours, they'll have their bail money. So, I mean, that's really the next step. But I guess what I'm saying is if there is a grand jury and panel, they may not swear out a true bill. They may not get an indictment. And then we do have to go to trial. And you're absolutely right. There could be a federal charge if they're not indicted, if they're not convicted. But we know William Barr in the Attorney General's office that the likelihood of that is probably not very good. But we also know that if they are not convicted finally, if they are charged and not convicted, and by then will be past January 2021, again, people, this is why it's important to vote, because who's in the White House gets to pick who gets to be the Attorney General. So this has real implications perhaps going down the line.
All right, so folks, we're following this here. We're here. The audio is choppy, so we see what's going on. And so, Keenan, don't call anyone else. We'll stick with where we are right now. We're just going to do this for a few minutes before we turn off. And again, so folks, to arrest Gregory McMichael, Travis McMichael, and the death of Ahmaud Arbery. Still, what angers me, Erica, what angers me the most is that there's no way in the world two black men kill a white guy and we can go 2 months. That we have to, we talked about the stresses of racism. We have to have our anxiety, our emotions, everything amped up just to get a damn arrest.
Yeah. And that's an arrest. We're talking about from February the 23rd to here we are on May 7th. That's almost you're talking about almost 3 months we're moving into. And so when you talked about moving through those spaces of trauma, and we're still showing up for work, right? The Roland Martin filter show still goes 5 days a week. We still have families to take care of. We still have people that may not be in our immediate family, sometimes that we're caring for financially, and we're carrying them in other spaces as well. And so this is what it means to not show up for the vote. When you think about who the Department of Labor chief is, you're talking about Eugene Scalia, who is the son of Antonin Scalia, who absolutely believes in ripping apart workers' rights. When you're thinking about who's going to be our next postmaster, who is a Trump loyalist, when you think about all of these different, you talked about Justin Walker and his confirmation to the circuit courts. And this is why it is damn important to show up. This is not an exercise in vanity. This is saying that laws and things that have been in place for us to have the freedoms that we have now, that we still have a responsibility to make sure that those freedoms are in place, that they're expanded in a way that not only we're the benefactors of those, but our children's are as well. So in context of everything that we're talking about, folks have got to pay attention to the vote. They've got to pay attention to who is the person that's leading their state as Secretary of State, who is the person that's their county Solicitor General, who is their election supervisor, who is their DA. These are things that we have to, because we're seeing right now and we're feeling it. If it's not somebody in our family, what the implications of that not paying attention to that is.
Greg Carr, final comment.
No, I'm just thinking about the fact that, and Erica knows this area, Glenn County, Georgia, we're talking about Southeast Georgia. We're talking about a place, and we heard it tonight with Ms. Jones, a place that may have been frozen in time, where you could engage in a daytime lynching. Not that it can't happen anywhere else in the country, but to your point, Roland, and to what Erica is saying as well, now we've got to pay strict attention to the demography of that county, to the people who could be in that potential jury pool, and not jump the gun. And as Erica said, we got to keep up the pressure now. Now we have to intensify what you let us out in doing over the last couple of weeks.
All right, then. Erica Savage, Greg Carr, I certainly appreciate y'all. And if everybody who's watching, just want y'all to understand something. We've been testing this ECAM system, which is a software program which allows for you to actually broadcast the show. And we have never gone live with it. We've tested it. We've never gone live with it. And so the reason audio issues, whatever, we have no idea. This is the first time we did it. Like I said, I was literally about to walk out the door when I got this tweet, and I said, look, we're not going to wait until tomorrow. We're not going to sit here and hopefully y'all can run to get some perspective going to MSNBC or CNN. We quickly put Lee Merritt, so y'all got a chance to hear Lee. I did call Ben Crump, and so that's why we did this. And so our whole deal here is that, again, we'll work the kinks out. We'll figure out what the heck happened here. But this is all about us being able to try to give you the information as quickly as we can. Because, look, we can't. Let me just be real clear with y'all. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, ABC, CBS, NBC, none of these people were covering this story a week ago. The only reason mainstream media all of a sudden cared about this story is when that video dropped on Tuesday. That's the only reason. And so that's why I need y'all to understand why we do what we do. Black people, listen to me, all y'all who are watching. We got more than almost 2,000 of y'all. And let me just also, I'm just saying this real clear with y'all, okay? Okay, I'm not admonishing anybody, but here's the deal. It's nearly 2,000 of y'all watching on Facebook right now. We probably had about 600 on Facebook earlier. We need 2,000 of y'all watching. It's about 2,000 of y'all on YouTube right now. We do this because we simply cannot afford to wait on mainstream media to cover our stories. We've got to be putting them out there, talking to the mothers and the fathers and the lawyers. That's why what we do, which is why we need you to support Roland Martin Unfiltered. Go to our Cash App, $RM Unfiltered, paypal.me/R Martin Unfiltered. Use a credit card. Go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com to use Square. Folks, our patrons, our followers make it possible for us to do what we do. And so we're going to have full coverage on this tomorrow. In addition, we're going to be covering tomorrow the follow-up to the HBCU story out of Maryland. If you missed my show earlier, watch the rebroadcast at 10 p.m. The governor vetoed the bill for the $577 million, and I just found out that he signed the bill for the more than $400 million. Let me actually get the number. He signed the bill for the $424 million to rebuild Pimlico Racetrack in Baltimore.
Wow.
So he said Maryland can't afford to give the money to the HBCUs, but we can build a racetrack in Baltimore. Yeah, we're going to be talking to the Black Caucus leaders tomorrow on Roland Martin Unfiltered. All of y'all, live, 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. You definitely want to watch the show. Watch the rebroadcast at 10 p.m. We're coming up in 40 minutes. You see the whole show, including the interview with the mother of Ahmaud Arbery that we conducted. You don't want to miss the conversation. Erica, Greg, thanks a bunch. I appreciate y'all jumping right back on.
Thank you,
Everybody
Ro.
else,
Thank you.
I'll see you guys tomorrow. Roland Martin Unfiltered. Holla.